Welcome to Archie's Zoom Barmitzvah.
Hello everyone.
I think we're on to Havdalah. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
You're celebrating as Shabbat goes out, and with warm memories to your great-grandfather, Jack Joles, whom I remember from childhood at the New London Synagogue with his lovely Scottish accent. We'll make it over whiskey. So if people are joining, have your spices, have your candle, and we'll make Havdalah, and then it'll be over to everything that you're going to do. And it's wonderful to see the pictures of your life, Archie, and your growing up. And also every simcha at this lockdown time counts double because you're bringing joy to so many people and celebrating Jewish life and your life in spite of everything. So to your parents and to you and all your family, a big thank you for celebrating in this way. Here goes with the candle. Yozi v'zimati Adonai v'ayli Yeshua u'shaftem ma'al v'sasvon imani Yeshua l'Adonai ha'Yeshua l'amcha b'chatecha senu Adonai tzvot imanu miskavlan l'rehiyah kosel Adonai tzvot Hashem b'tiach bach Adonai Yoshia melech yaneinu v'yom korenu La Yehudim ay Torah v'simcha v'sason v'ikar Ein tielanu kos yishmot esauchim Adonai yekar Nay 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהכל יהיה בדברו, שהכל יהיה בדברו. נה 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 ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא מיני בשמים, בורא מיני בשמים. נה 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 ברוך אתה אלוהינו מלך העולם בורם יורה האש בורם יורה האש ני 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 ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המבדיל בין קודש לחול בין אור לחושך בין ישראל לעמים בין יום השביעי לששת ימי המעשה ברוך אתה אדוני המבדיל בין הקודש לחול. שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב. No better way to begin a week than with a celebration like your Barmitzvah, Archie. Over to you, Hazen Kotzen.
Thank you, everybody. You can all follow the service in the booklets which you were sent. So please follow along and don't be shy to sing at home because who can hear you? Go for it. So we start with the Ahavat Olam, which is on page 3 in your booklet. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Havta Amecha Havta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu uvkumeinu nasiach mechukecha v'nismach m'divrei Toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha li'olam va'ed Ki heim chayenu v'yorech yameinu uvahem negeh yomam v'laylam v'ahavatecha Al tasir mimenu leolamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Archie will now lead us in the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Va'avta et Adonai Elohecha, Hol levavecha v'hol nafshecha v'hol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anohi Mitzvah hayom al vaveha vishinam tam levaneha vidibata bam v'shivta b'vateha v'vileteha v'derech v'v'shachbaha v'kumeha v'kshatam leot ha'yadeha v'hayele tuchtifot b'neineha v'chavta aham al mezezot beiteha Uvishareha.
Page 5. Hashkiveinu, Hashkiveinu, Adonai, Eloheinu, L'shalom, L'shalom, Hashkiveinu, Hashkiveinu, Adonai, Eloheinu, L'shalom, V'hamitzeinu malkeinu l'chayim, 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 hashkiveinu, hashkiveinu.
Help us lie down, Adonai, our God, in peace. Let us awake to life renewed. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Lift us out of slumber with a resounding affirmation of life, and shield all who work to protect the sanctity of your creation. Spread out over us a succor of peace, and give us good guidance. Save us for the sake of your unique name that unites all living things. Shield us from illness, plague, famine, and anguish, for the sake of your holy name. Guard our going out and our coming in, for life and peace from now and forever. Baruch atah Adonai, Shemer Amo Yisrael La'ad. Blessed are you, Adonai, who protects your people, Israel, forever.
Amen. Thank you, Archie. Archie is now going to share his Devar Torah with us. some thoughts of his on the reading and its implications today. Over to you, Archie.
Shavua Tov. Thank you for coming to share my bar mitzvah with me, particularly under these unusual times. The Torah reading this evening is, in effect, a trailer for the reading next Shabbat. Today we read the opening of the Torah portion for next week, which is Bo. Bo is found in Exodus and recounts the last 3 of the 10 plagues, a swarm of locusts, palpable darkness which envelops the land, and finally the death of the firstborn. Each plague more devastating than the last. The plague of darkness was so heavy that no one could get up, or even see their hand in front of them for 3 days. According to the Midrash, the Egyptians could not see, nor even move. However, for the Jewish people, it was different. They had light wherever they lived. These plagues raise many questions. Does God have a harder heart than Pharaoh? Why kill all the firstborn of the Egyptians, including their animals? Is Moses being deceitful, as at no point does he say he is not going back, just that they're going on a 3-day journey for a festival to God? These are good questions, perhaps for the rabbi to answer. The idea of slavery is fundamental to the story of Jewish identity and memory, and whilst it seems a barbaric and outdated practice, tragically it still exists today. Modern slavery is defined as severe exploitation of other people for personal or commercial gain. It is all around us, but often just out of sight. People can become entrapped, making our clothes, serving our food, working in factories or working in houses as cooks, cleaners or nannies. Many face violence, threats, are forced into inescapable debt, or have their passport taken away. They're being threatened with deportation. 40 million people are estimated to be trapped in modern slavery worldwide. 1 in 4 are children. Almost 3/4, 71%, are women and girls. Over 10,000 are identified as potential victims in Britain in 2019. I've taken a personal interest in the plight of child soldiers. Thousands of children are serving as soldiers in armed conflicts around the world. These boys and girls, some as young as 8, serving government forces and armed opposition groups, fighting on the front lines, forced into suicide missions, and acting as spies, messengers, or lookouts. Some are abducted or recruited by force, while others join out of desperation, leaving our armed groups offer their best chance for survival. Afghanistan, Syria, Iran, and Yemen are among the worst offenders. Tens of thousands of children were used in this way during the savage civil wars in Liberia and Sierra Leone in the 1990s. I shudder to think what it must be like for a boy of my age living in these countries. I will never know such horrors or be forced into something that I cannot say no to. I am supporting Human Rights Watch. It's an anti-slavery charity which spans many rights issues, including child soldiers and mental health. If we are to live in a world of prosperity and freedom, we need to stop prejudice and exploitation of other people. Judaism teaches that we are all created equally in the image of God. We can never justify imprisoning or treating others differently to ourselves. I invite everyone here to consider supporting Human Rights Watch to mark my bar mitzvah. Please help achieve their end goal of ending prejudice and slavery, because a world without slavery is an important step towards a world without evil. Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov. We now move on to our little Torah service. Of course, it's a little different because we're not in synagogue. We don't have technically a minyan. So instead of the usual Torah blessings, Archie will recite the blessing before the study of Torah, and that's going to come now.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshani b'mitzvotov v'tzivanu le'asok b'divrei Torah.
Thank you. Now, normally there would be 3 call-ups, and Archie has decided he's going to dedicate the 3 portions to different people. So the first portion, Archie is going to read, and he's dedicating it to his grandparents, to Norman and Doreen, and also to the memory of his dad's late parents, Gordon and Daphne. First portion, over to you, Archie.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe bo paro, ki ani hichbadati et libo v'et lev avadav, lema'an shiti ototai lebekebo, ulema'an tisapeh Vim ha, et ashet aloud sipam Mitzrayim, vietototai shesamtivam, vidateki ani Adonai, vayavoy Moshe v'Aharon el Paro, v'amaru elav, kama Adonai Elohei harim, abmatai me'amta leonor mi benai.
And the second portion, Archie is dedicating to his parents, to Jessica and to David, and to his sister Sophie. I had the great privilege of officiating at Jessica and David's wedding, so I've known you a long time, Archie, and I've known your mum even longer. We were friends from years before that. So it's a great privilege to be here at your bar mitzvah, and the next portion is dedicated to your parents and your sister. Off you go.
Hanesheres lahem im havarad, vayahaw et ha'etz, hasomea lahem min hasadeh, imalu vateha, ivatehol vadeha, ivatehol Mitzrayim, asher lorlu avoteha vavot avoteha, miyam, heotam avha adama, ad hayom hazeh.
Thank you. And of course, the third portion is yours, because you are now the latest link in this glorious chain that goes back through your parents and grandparents, all the way to Moses and Aaron and to Abraham. So this last portion is yours, and Archie, it's been such a pleasure to be your teacher these last 8-9 months. Your maturity has been fantastic, and I'll miss you. I really miss. Looking forward to working with Sophie, though. Okay, off we go. Verse 7. We're on page 8 in your booklets.
Avdei paro elav, avmatai yihiyezer lani lemokesh, shalet hanashim. Vayavdu et Adonai Elohim, haterem teda ki havda Mitzrayim. Vayishaf et Moshe v'et Aharon el Paro, vayomer Elohim, lehu ivdu et Adonai Elohim, mi v'mi ha'ohim, vayomer Moshe, v'nareinu v'zkeneinu neileh, v'vanenu v'znotenu, b'tzomeinu v'vkareinu neileh, Ki Adonai lanu, v'omer Elohem, Yehi hein Adonai mahem, ko asher asher latem v'etabahem, ruhu ki ra'a neged p'neihem, la'ohen, lehu nahag v'rim v'yivdu Adonai, ki atem ahem v'akshim, v'ygaresh otam me'yeit, P'nei paro.
Well done, Yeshikoach, Archie, fabulous. All right, we're on page 9 now, and this is the song we would normally sing when the Torah was going back into the ark, so we wouldn't want to miss out on that. Ki lekach tov natzati lachem Torati al tazovu Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomcheha mayushar Daracheha, Darchei Noam, V'chol netivoteha, Shalom. Shalom. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Charesh Yameinu Kakedem. Rabbi Wittenberg, over to you.
Archie, that's really, really excellent. I also want to say what a joy it is to officiate together with you, Chazan Kotzen, and how beautifully you've arranged this. Your Shema and your reading of the Torah were really, really good. What moves me is your passion for what is right and just in the world. That is quite remarkable and very special. And I'm going to take on the challenges that you've put, questions for the rabbi. I'm going to take those on, and I feel a fellow spirit in somebody who cares so deeply about what's right in the world, because God, we are all created in God's image. You're really, really excellent. I just want to pay a tribute to your family, because go back many generations. When I was a boy of 6, we joined the New London Synagogue. And there was your great grandfather, Dr. Joels, Jack Joels. We always looked up to him, both for his professional skill. We consulted him several times, but above all for this exemplar of kindness. And your grandparents, Norman and Doreen, with you. You miss Gordon and Daphne, your parents, Jessica and David, your sister, Sophie, all your family over these 4 generations. I really appreciate being so connected with your family. You raised problems with this Torah portion. You are right to raise those problems. I'm going to give you a conventional answer to one of them and an unconventional answer to the other, and then say something to you. So here's the conventional answer about God hardening Pharaoh's heart. Does God have a harder heart than Pharaoh, you ask? It's a pitched battle. That's how the Torah wants to make it out. I don't believe it happened literally so, but I believe it wants to tell us a story. And it tells us a story really of good versus evil. But the rabbis discussing this say, don't we believe in free will? Couldn't Pharaoh choose? What's this God hardened Pharaoh's heart? And the conventional answer given by Maimonides is this. The first 3 times at least, this is said, Pharaoh hardens his own heart. And says Maimonides, once a person is so set upon a course in the world, it becomes impossible for them to change anymore. It's as if he himself had forfeited his ability to choose by being so persistently cruel that he couldn't get himself out of it anymore. That's a conventional answer, an established answer to the question about the hardening of heart. But your other question, which is really, I think, the deeper and bigger question is, what about the killing of the firstborn? The animals, every Egyptian, is that right? In your portion, Pharaoh's advisors call Moses and Aaron back. You just read it, right? Yushav. They brought them back and they said to Pharaoh, don't you know Egypt is wrecked? It's a ruin. It's smashed up. It's destroyed. The harvest is gone. The animals are largely killed. The people are suffering. There's worse to come. Don't you know? What strikes me about this, and this is not a conventional answer, perhaps it doesn't help, is that this is how the world is. When in the Second World War, eventually Nazi Germany was subdued and Britain and the Allies won that war, not every German who perished was guilty of supporting the Nazis. Many were, but many weren't. So in Egypt too, for centuries of tolerating slavery, the people hold responsibility. They hold mutual responsibility together with Pharaoh for what they collectively did, but not everyone was guilty. And this is a terrible tragedy of violence and war, which you portrayed so well, that the innocent suffer along with those who participate. One of the things I find terrifying is the suffering of children and women that you see in war. They are overwhelmingly victims, as you pointed out, and also the animals, the landscape itself, the wrecking of the whole place. One of, I didn't know him personally, indirectly, my teachers, the college where I studied for the rabbinate is named after him, Leo Beck, who led the Jewish community in Berlin until he was deported to Theresienstadt, which he survived. So that it was not so rare in Germany that he would find some fruit on his doorstep in 1941, 1942, that somebody would come up to him and slip an egg into his pocket in the street. People of innocence suffer in this world together with those who are responsible. And that is a terrible wrong. Your standing up for Human Rights Watch is so important. We've hosted a number of refugees in our home. We've not been able to do that during lockdown. But I think of one particular woman, Elsa. I don't know what she went through. Some of her family were murdered in Ethiopia and she fled. And she's standing one Shabbat morning on the stairs in our house right behind me as I'm preparing a Torah portion for the synagogue. And she's saying that she's been refused permission to remain, refused, rejected. You know, I don't know what she went through, but you're right. This mistreatment is going on all around us. So to stand up for human dignity is what this story is all about. That's what I really take about it. As a people being on the wrong side of injustice, on the wrong side of cruelty, the lesson to us forever after is to stand up for human dignity in everybody, for justice for everybody, and for compassion for everybody. I noticed that you're a rugby player. I probably didn't love it as much as you did, but I had 10 years as prop at my school. And I love the picture of you coming off the field there and you're holding a trophy. You're now a prop to the Jewish people and a prop to humanity for what is right and for what is just. There are not many people of your age who I've come across who have such a clear and definite moral passion in the world. That sense of right will really, really see you through whatever happens to you, because you will have a deep understanding. This is what I have to do. This is what my Judaism, this is what my humanity guides me to do. Good on you, because how deeply you care is actually an example already to everybody. So I wish you, Yasher Kochacha, that your strength be kept strong and you follow that path of honoring the human dignity of every single person created in the image of God. Good on you. I'm going to conclude there and pass on, I think, to your parents and your family who are going to bless you. And we're all going to join in, vocally or quietly, with their blessing for you.
Archie, when I was, I think, 8 years old, I was living with my parents and my brother in Manchester in the house of my grandfather. Unfortunately, my grandmother had passed away by that time. And we were living there because my parents were having a new house built here in London. And one of the things I remember most vividly from that time is how every Friday evening, my grandfather would go to shul, and when he came back after the service, he would lay his hands on the heads of my brother and myself and recite a blessing over us. Well, now, 3/4 of a century later, it is my privilege to be able to say a blessing for my grandchildren. So here we go. Unfortunately, because of the circumstances, we can't have any laying on of hands, but that bit you'll just have to imagine. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yoer Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. Yisah Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And your grandmother will now give us the English translation of this blessing.
May God bless you and protect you. May God's face illuminate you and be gracious to you. May God lift up God's face and grant you peace and a happy life.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. Stand.
Sorry.
David's a bit of a sodden mess. We all thought it would be me.
I'm a blubbering mess. I have to apologise.
Welcome, family and... Oh, no, is that you or me? Welcome, family and friends, to Archie's Zoom Bar Mitzvah.
Well done to Archie for reading your portion so well under these strange circumstances. I thought Jessica would be a blubbering mess, but it's me, and we're quite overcome by how well you've done.
When planning Archie's Bar Mitzvah, we asked Archie what kind of party he'd like. He said he wanted something small and intimate, so we took you at your word. A Zoom party suits Archie well. He doesn't have to perform in public, talk to anyone, and best of all, he can get it all over with quickly, so he can get back to his PS4.
For Jessica and myself, there are upsides to a Zoom party. Zoom allows us to say hello to family and friends throughout the world. So hi to my cousins in America, Australia, and to our friends in Canada, Spain, and Israel. We're just sorry we can't talk properly to you, but I'm kind of waving virtually from a distance.
Archie, we just love you. You're a 24/7 non-stop whirlwind. You only pause for air when plugged into your iPhone. We got a taste of your character even before you were born, when you wouldn't keep still in vitro long enough for proper scans to be taken.
It's no secret I'm an old dad, something I apologise for to my kids regularly, usually as an excuse for not being on trend. While my contemporaries were looking forward to retirement, I get to go on the journey of a lifetime. And boy, what a ride it's been. Archie, I have to thank you. Because of you, I've done things, seen things, experienced things I never thought I would get to do. Thank you. Because of you, I've got to experience the delights of In the Night Garden, Mr. Tumble, and Clown Town. I got to be a shouty football, rugby, cricket dad. Because of you, I got to miss the last 5 minutes of nearly all Watford Premier League matches. We won't talk about Watford versus Wolves semis, will we? No? No? Okay.
Don't really care.
No. Thank you. Because of you, I got to have more laughs, tears, nachas than any other father has the right to have.
What can I say about Archie? You are a wonderful human being, kind and loyal to the core, with an intellect and intelligence beyond your years. You have a twinkle in your eyes which can captivate anyone. Your early years were not easy, but you have overcome your difficulties with dignity and a dogged determination to succeed in everything you set your mind to, whether it's on the rugby field or getting into Belmont. You have dealt with lockdown in your usual just get on with it attitude and showed great maturity in tackling the recent scholarship process. We have been on quite a journey together over the years, and long may it continue. David.
We'd like to thank Rabbi Jonathan for leading the service with your usual empathy, Stephen for guiding Archie to this point and supporting us, John and Leo for the Zoom management, and of course all of you for taking time out from your busy schedules to join us.
Hopefully we will see you in the real world soon. Please look after yourselves. Wasn't too embarrassing, was it, Archie? No, it's okay.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Okay, everybody, it wouldn't be a service if we didn't end with a down olam. And so we're going to end with a down olam, and I hope you'll sing along at home. We're at the bottom of page 9 in your booklets. Adon olam, Hashem olam, b'terem kol yitzir nivra, liyet nasa, b'chefzo kol, azai melech shemo nikra, Adon olam Hashem olam, b'terem kol yitzir nivra, liyet nasa, b'chefzo kol, azai melech shemo nikra, v'yacharei kichlot hakol, levado yimloch nora, lehu haya, lehu hover, v'yiyeh, v'tifara, Adon olam olam asher molach, L'terem kol yetzir nivra, L'yek naso v'chefzo kol, Azai melech shemo nikra, V'hu elim, L'chai galim, V'tzurchev li b'yitzara, V'hu nisi, Umanos li, V'nat kasi, V'yamekra, Adon olam Hashem alach, L'terem kol yetzir nivra, V'yeit naso v'chefzo kol, Azai melech shemo nikra, V'yahado afkid ruchim, V'yeit ishan v'ya'ira, V'yimruchim kaviyati, Adonai li v'lo ira, Adon olam Hashem alach, L'terem kol yetzir nivra, V'yeit naso v'chefzo kol, Azai melech shemo nikra. Shavua tov. All right, people, we're done. You can feel free to unmute yourselves and say hello to people.
Mazal tov to all of you. Wonderful to celebrate with you. Thank you.
Mazel tov, Archie.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. You were fantastic. Hello, Louise, Elliot, Jacob, and Samuel.
Say hello.
Ian.
Hello.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Hello, Jacob.
Well done. Rena says mazel tov.
Grandma.
Hi, Rena.
Hello.
Good job. Wonderful.
David's just spilled glitter everywhere.
Hi, Norton.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh my God.
All right, should we move away?
Yes.
Mazel tov.
Great job. Well done.
Hello.
Mazel tov, Archie.
Well done, Archie.
Mazel
Thank
tov,
you.
darling.
Hello.
Oh, Louis there somewhere. Hi,
Very
Louis.
special.
Mazel tov, Archie. Mazel tov.
Very special.
Thank you.
It's Ruth. Hi, Ruth. Hi, James.
Hi. Mazel tov, Archie.
Jeremy Bagley, I don't want to email him. Wait.
Here.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Thank
Hello,
you.
Norton. Greetings from America.
Archie.
Thank you.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov, Archie.
Thank you.
Well done, Archie boy.
Really, very well done.
Well done,
Very
David and
impressed.
Jessica.
Jessica, you
Yeah,
look
David
gorgeous.
was
He
brilliant.
was brilliant. No,
Mazel tov.
He was brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can go.
I'd like to
Mazel
start
tov.
video with Louise and family just for a second.
We're fine. We'll speak to you tomorrow. But that's what I wanted to tell you.
Well,
It was
thank you,
terrific.
Leila.
It was really terrific. You
Thank
should be
you.
very proud.
Yes, very proud of Archie.
We'll
Archie
speak
was
to you
brilliant.
tomorrow.
Bye, Tony.
Bye. We'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
That's the
pleasure.
Canadian
Bye-bye.
contingency. And you
Bye.
dressed
Mazel
up.
tov.
Well done.
Can you hear us?
Hello, John.
Oh, nice to see you in this
Nice
event.
to see the Welsh contingent. Talk to
The
see
Soul Wel- I don't know if it's the Soul Welsh contingent.
That's Daddy's grandma's.
Is Louise on?
Mazel tov.
Australia.
I did see her.
Thank you.
What do you have to do? It says on
Louise.
Okay.
Is there a share screen? What is there?
Say hi, Grandma. You have to go and press it though.
Oh, you see where it says share screen? What's that about?
That's the one that shares everything else.
There's Grandma.
Alison does.
Oh, hello, Mummy, Daddy.
You don't have to look up.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Archie, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Mazel tov. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's grown a bit since you last saw him.
A bit,
Oh my gosh.
So handsome.
Just a bit.
And so eloquent.
Yes.
Yeah. So eloquent.
He made
What
us
an
very
eloquent
proud.
speaker.
We'll stay with you.
Not being able to imagine.
Yeah,
Pauline?
Yeah.
Archie,
You were so impressive. I was just like amazed. You were fantastic.
Can he have a job?
Yeah? He can have a job, yeah.
Yeah. Good law firm there.
Dublin.
So?
Amazing.
Another Irish contingent.
Irish.
Mazel tov, Archie.
Bye, Pete.
I was trying to say something.
Oh, Andrew, hello.
Andrew, you're alone. Nick.
He retired.
Well done. Bye, everybody.
Hi.
Oh no, there they are. They're still there. Oh, Louise is still there.
Hello.
You did.
Good to be with you.
Louise, I was trying to call you.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Just for everyone's reference, it's going to be on YouTube. There's a YouTube link which we can share. So if anyone can make it, we can send it to you. Rabbi Pete, have you got words of wisdom?
Make sure you're unmuted and speak loudly.
If you're anxious.
Canada again. Oh, and another one. Canada's taking over.
Yay!
Yes. You're on, Alison.
Go on, say something.
We're having technical difficulties.
Oh, get off. I can see you, Mark. Hello.
Wonderful to see everybody. Good to see you without masks on.
Wouldn't recognize anybody. Phil.
Is that a couple of years?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For some reason I've come up as Rachel, but you know it's me, Rose.
Oh, Rachel.
It's fine, whatever name you want to go under.
Rachel tonight, apparently.
What can I say?
You blew me away, Archie. You just did so well. You brought tears to my eyes. You did amazingly. Well done, really.
Thank you.
All of you.
Yeah.
Sorry about this.
David, I would just...
Okay, well, we'd like to thank everybody for turning up and being with us on this special day. Archie's just blown us away. He did an absolutely fantastic job. As I say, we're sent an email with a YouTube link, and we look forward to seeing everybody when we get out. Hopefully we'll be celebrating Sophie's bat mitzvah in September.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.